Hey, it's Stefan again. Thanks again for sending in some videos here. So I like your little motion. I actually like that I can see exactly what you're feeling here. So this looks much better in terms of the face, right? The face is perfectly square to your body, perhaps even a touch closed. And at this time, I'm not going to worry about that. So I like that here. Now I can see that you're doing that like really heavy with it's hard. Sometimes it can be confusing talking about the wrist because I don't like to jump to these terms initially, but the wrist can be confusing because they move so many different ways. So what I mean by that is you have your forearms pronating and supinating. Your wrist can also ulnar and radial deviate, and they can also go from flexion to extension. Okay, so that's why some of this can be a bit confusing. So in layman's terms, I just want to change the way in which you're using your wrist to get in this position, okay? So you're feeling a large amount of flexion from your left wrist, or really getting that left wrist very, very flat very early, and to you it probably just feels very wristy, for lack of a better term here. So then when we get to the one where you actually hit the ball, let's get to that point. So club head is still way inside the hands, but the face looks a lot better. So I don't want you to be discouraged because we are seeing some significant improvement, but the head is still inside the hands, and the way in which you're doing it is not exactly what I want it to be done. So I have this other player here, and he's working on something different, and that's not really significant in what he's doing. But right in these couple frames, you can see it almost looks like he's picking the club up and down. So this would be ulnar radial deviation, or like a hammer-like feel is the term I like to use. This angle here in his wrist is basically him picking the club straight up and down. Club is not coming back really much at all. Basically, it's just coming up and down as the hands stay relatively still. Now, if you wanted to look up these terms, you'd easily see them even on like Google Images or something like that. So in a second here, he's going to simulate a little bit of a backswing motion, and that's more similar to what I'd like you to practice. So right here, now this is overdone for sure, but he's feeling a lot of that angle there in his wrist that I just described, or that hammer-like feel, and he's feeling no roll of the forearms, and that's why this face is square to his torso, not because he's like getting his wrist into flexion immediately. Okay? Now, this is, to be clear, certainly overdone, and he's just demonstrating a motion. He actually does not look like that when he hits it. Let's see if he does that. Yeah, right here. So again, that would kind of be what you'd strive to look like. And I'd actually like to see you demonstrate that next time before the video, okay? So kind of feeling the hand path is working inward as you're like lifting the club, or that hammer-like feel with no wrist roll here. And again, demonstrate this in the mirror the first time you do that. Maybe pause this video and watch this over and over again a couple times perhaps, and you'll you'll acquire that sensation there. Okay? The only other thing I wanted to add in, and this is a new piece here, is I'd like to see you straighten your right leg just a bit more to help you get the butt of the club just a bit deeper behind you. Okay, so go ahead and just increase the hip turn there at the top as a secondary piece. Otherwise, show me that takeaway revision next time, and best of luck.